Shah Mahmood Qureshi. Shah Mahmood Qureshi, sir, please.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to begin by thanking the Chairman of Pakistan People's Party, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, for showing solidarity with the people of Pakistan. I would like to thank Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, in this state of alertness for showing solidarity with the people of Pakistan and the state of Pakistan. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has offered that in these testing times, he is willing to have a bipartisan approach on foreign policy. I take this offer, and I invite Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, both leaders, and the leader of the MMA to the Foreign Office, and we are willing to seek their input on foreign policy. Because this is the time where the nation stands together. This is a time to send a message across to the East that Pakistan is united. Pakistan is united to defend itself, and Pakistan is united to defend Pakistan's and protect Pakistan's interests. So, I invite you, sir, I invite Mr. Shahbaz Sharif and other important parliamentary leaders to the Foreign Office so that we can have a bipartisan approach on important foreign policy matters. Mr. Speaker, on one clarification, he did pay tribute to Squadron Leader Hassan Siddiqui. Absolutely, he's a national hero. But I would like to clarify that 2 Indian planes were shot down. One was shot down by Squadron Leader Hassan Siddiqui, and we often forget the other hero, Wing Commander Noman Ali Khan, who shot down the other plane. So I would like to pay tributes to Wing Commander Noman Ali Khan as well. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Leader of one of the major parties in the opposition has said that the Prime Minister of prematurely releasing the Indian captured pilot. Yes, sir. It was discussed, and we did it in Pakistan's interest. We thought by doing that, we will be signaling a message of de-escalation, and that message went loud and clear. It went loud and clear, and it was appreciated. It was appreciated all over the world. Everybody acknowledged that Pakistan acted responsibly, and Pakistan responded immediately, and it has been recorded and appreciated. Speaker, the Honourable Member of Parliament has raised the issue of Pakistan should not have boycotted the foreign ministers in Abu Dhabi for the OIC foreign ministers meeting. Once again, I would like to put it on record, this was an important issue, and we debated. We saw the advantages, we saw the disadvantages, we weighed the pros and the cons of doing or not doing so. Now, there were views, and the House, there was a divided opinion. Many experts had 2 views. By going and engaging, as Mr. Zardari very spoke when he stood on the floor of the House, that Pakistan should remain engaged. And there was the other view. And the other view was also from a major party of the opposition. And Khwaja Asif Sahab very articulately projected that point of view, that Pakistan should oppose a protest and boycott the session. And former Foreign Minister, who was negotiating on behalf of his party when we were drafting the resolution, wanted a word included, and that was not just boycotting the inaugural session, In protest, he said the view of the opposition, and I'm here to reflect the view of the opposition, and that is that we should completely, am I right, sir? Completely boycott in protest. And sir, Mr. Speaker, a resolution was signed and passed unanimously by this House. We have often said we believe in the supremacy of Parliament. We've often said parliamentary sovereignty is very important. Then, Mr. Speaker, you tell me, when the joint session of Parliament has spoken and has commanded the Foreign Minister of Pakistan jointly to boycott the Foreign Minister's session, what am I supposed to do? I succumbed. जैसे जावेद ज़रदारी साहब ने कहा सरे हम तस्लीम, मैंने सरे हम तस्लीम पार्लियामेंट को किया और आपकी इस राय को मुकद्दम समझा. But Pakistan's interests were still protected, and I said on the floor of the House that there will be officers from the Foreign Office who will represent Pakistan there, and they very ably represented Pakistan. Alhamdulillah, Pakistan's interests were protected. I was in contact with the Foreign Minister of UAE, and we collectively devised a strategy. And you must have seen that there was no mention of Pakistan when Sushma ji spoke. There was no Pakistan bashing allowed, and that was an arrangement that was worked out. You would see that a very strongly worded resolution on Kashmir was passed. For the first time, and let me highlight, resolutions of the contract route and ORC have been passed in the past as well. But never has Bharat or India been accused of state terrorism. For the first time, they were put in the dock and accused of state terrorism. So, sir, we achieved both our objectives, respect to the Parliament and yet protecting the interests of Pakistan in OIC. Mr. Speaker, the honourable members pointed out and commented on a desire by a section of society that Prime Minister Imran Khan should be given Nobel Peace Prize. But he himself tweeted, and please, I would want you to examine that tweet. In that he says, मैं समझता हूं कि मैं इसका हकदार नहीं हूं. मैं इसका हकदार वो शख्सियत है जो मकबूजा कश्मीर और कश्मीर का मसला हल करेगी, उसको नोबेल पीस प्राइज मिलना चाहिए. जो पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ है और इमरान खान से मोहब्बत अकीदत रखते हैं, और अगर उन्होंने उस जज्बे में कह दिया कि मिल जाए तो ये कोई गुनाह सरजद नहीं हुआ. लेकिन बड़ाई उस बात की है, बड़ाई उस अजमत उस बात की है कि वो खुद कहे, वो इस काफिले का सिपा सलार खुद कहे, मैं नहीं, ये सेरा उसके सर जाना चाहिए जो मसला कश्मीर हल करे. जनाब वाला, the honourable minister, the honourable opposition leader has said, he mentioned in his speech the National Action Plan.
Parliamentary leader of People Party.
Sir, parliamentary leader, I stand corrected, sir. The parliamentary leader of Pakistan People's Party mentioned in his statement the National Action Plan. He's absolutely right. That's a very important decision that the people of Pakistan took. A national consensus was built. A political consensus evolved after the tragic incident of APS Peshawar. And the entire nation united. And that 22-point plan was drafted and unanimously approved. He has questioned the lack of implementation. We have been in office for only 6 months. His allies, the party that they are hand in glove with today, was in office for 4.5 years after that plan. That question should have been put to the new allies. Why was the National Action Plan not implemented? We cannot answer. Yes, we will. We will, inshallah. Now, this government, the Pakistan PTI government has come into office, and people of Pakistan will see the National Action Plan implemented in letter and spirit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member has said that why are banned organizations roaming around? And why have they been given an NRO? You're right. I share your concern. It's an important point that you've raised. The question is, when were these organizations? Have they come about in the last 6 months, or have they been there for years? For years. This government has been in office for the first time. Who was governing Pakistan for the last 40 years? The people of Pakistan they have to ascertain that. Who was governing Pakistan? What was Pakistan People's Party doing? What was Pakistan PMLN doing when these organizations were hovering around? Is absolutely right. Important concern that needs to be addressed. But the question is, when was Pakistan put on the grey list? Was it PTI's government? No, sir. Pakistan went back onto the grey list when one of your close allies was in office, which is the last PML government. And if I do not forget, I think I remember correctly, FATF and Pakistan was put on the black list as well. And you know who was in government then. Mr. Speaker, the honorable leader has also spoken about the economy and the state of the economy. And he has, rightly so, expressed his concern on the state of the economy. I absolutely agree with him. I entirely endorse what he's saying. But the question is, has the economy gone down the tube in the last 6 months? Or are the structural flaws of the economy? I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll bring out the debate when the Honorable then Finance Minister, Mr. Ishaq Dar, spoke here. He used to sit on this chair where I'm sitting today. When he spoke, his